What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Solutions, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Superstore and welcome to Season 5. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Season 5 is officially here, and all you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines for a competitive advantage and best settings for this game currently running at this very moment. All you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines from the beginning to the end of this video, and I can promise you that you'll get the best performance out of this game, the best FPS out of this game, and competitive settings for all users out there. It doesn't matter what you're running, you will have a competitive advantage over any person that's playing this game right now at this very moment. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are on our desktop right now, and the first thing I just want to mention is this. If you would like to let me personally optimize your computer for you, if you need an optimization or whatever the case might be, you can go ahead and email me here at the top and just send me an email, and then I'll message you my Discord and whatever the case might be. And I do charge a service fee. Because it actually takes up time and effort from me to be able to optimize your PC for you, and I'll do everything for you, don't worry. Or I could just guide you through everything that you need to do, and you should be good to go. I just want to mention that to you guys. My email's here at the top, and you can just email me. All right, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, ladies and gentlemen, please be on your desktop. It doesn't matter if you're running this game through Battle.net or Steam, just close both of those programs. Please go ahead and close it and be on your desktop. Now, the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. If you have background apps running, please go ahead and close them. You do not want these things to run while you are playing Call of Duty. It's highly recommended that you close all background apps. Now, I have a CCTV camera running over here. I'm not going to hover over it because then you can actually see my cameras and my location and whatever the case might be. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to right click on it and then say close window. Now, I don't want to see my cameras and stuff like that while I'm playing the game because it uses resources like my CPU, my RAM, and my VRAM usage. So I actually close that program. Now, another thing is Wallpaper Engine, which I'm currently running right now for this background image that I'm running for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, is Wallpaper Engine. Now, what I would suggest you do is you completely just close out of this if you use it. If you don't use it, you are good to go. If you have a still image, you are perfectly fine. But I highly recommend actually closing this. So you go over here, right click on it. I know a lot of people say you should just pause it, then it pauses, and then the picture doesn't move. And you can literally just click on unpause, and then the picture starts moving again. But the best way of doing it is actually going here, right clicking, and say quit, and have a still desktop image with nothing on your desktop. No clutter, no shortcuts, no nothing. If you have shortcuts, go put them in a folder. You should be good to go. Or just delete the shortcuts. You should not have shortcuts on your desktop in the first place. Like if you have multiple Steam games or whatever the case might be as shortcuts on your desktop. You need to launch Steam and then go to the game itself and then launch it through there. You don't need to launch it through your desktop through a shortcut. Shortcuts actually decreases performance in your Windows. It doesn't matter if you're Windows 10 or 11. It doesn't matter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is click on the start button over here and click on this little gear icon that says settings over here. You can be Windows 10 or 11. Go to your Windows settings like this. From here, you're going to go to gaming like this. Click on gaming itself and then go to game bar. Make sure that this is turned off. For the love of fuck, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm going to repeat myself, please turn this the fuck off. This is a common known issue for the game to crash on Steam and on Battle.net. So please, just turn this off. There is people out there that I know that uses this thing. I know, and some of them get away with their game not crashing. But for the love of fuck, if you're not using this, turn it the fuck off. What's the point of you having this on if you're not using it? All right, from here, you're going to go to game mode. And right now, at this very moment for Season 5, I highly recommend turning this on. I know for Season 4, it was on as well. For Season 3, it was actually off. And then for Season 2, it was actually on as well. But right now, as I tested Season 5, this should be on at game mode. Turn game mode on for Season 5, and then come to graphic settings like this. Right now, at this very moment, hardware accelerated GPU scheduling should be on if you have this option. If you do not have this option, don't worry, then you do not need to config anything inside here. But if you do have this option, please go ahead and turn it on. Now, this is very important for people out there that is running 40 series cards, because then you can use stuff like super resolution and stuff like that, and you can use DLSS. Now, you can use frame generation with DLSS. This is why I say you should turn this on if you have a 40 series card and higher. Please go ahead and turn this on. You will not be able to use frame generation on AMD or on Nvidia if you do not have this on. So please go ahead and turn this on right now at this very moment for Season 5. Please go ahead and do so. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is more background apps to turn off. And it's very easy to do. You're just going to come to the start button again. You're just going to go to settings again, and you're going to come to Windows settings like this. You're going to come to privacy, scroll all the way down to where you see it says background apps. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still a Windows 10 user, and I'll still stay a Windows 10 user until Windows 10 is completely died out. Then I'll move over to Windows 11. I do not like Windows 11. Don't judge me. Everyone has their own personal opinion when it comes to anything in this generation of life, or whatever the case might be. I'm not going to get into this, but whatever. Now, if you're a Windows 10 user like me, all you're going to need to do is turn this from on to off, and all of these things won't run in the background while playing Call of Duty, because background apps actually uses VRAM usage, RAM usage, your CPU, and just in general, it uses resources of your computer. Now, go ahead and turn them off. If you're a Windows 10 user like me, you can just turn it off like this. Now, if you're a Windows 11 user, you're going to have to individually turn these things off one by one. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do that, otherwise I'm going to make this video way too long. But you have to individually disable them one by one. I know there's a couple of programs you can download to just click disable. I don't want to get into that. Just go ahead and Google how to turn them off. It's very easy to Google. You have access to watch my video online, so you have access to go ahead and research how to disable Windows 11 background apps. It's very easy to do. Just go ahead and Google it, and you should be good to go. Now, another thing is this over here. Come to the home button, and then come to apps like this, and make sure you come inside here. Now, something that's very, very important is clutter on your machine. Now, if you only have one drive, or you have multiple drives on your computer, please go ahead and make sure that they are in the blue and they are not in the red. Okay, so I'm just going to make an example for you. If I do this, I have this over here. I'm just going to move this out of the screen. These are my drives. As you can see, they are not in the red. Now, your C drive is the most important drive because it runs your Windows. So this could be an M.2, it could be an SSD, it could be a hard drive, whatever the case might be that you're running your C drive on. A lot of people just have one drive, just this over here. They don't have multiple drives. They just have this over here, and the Call of Duty is installed on there on top of it. So please, for the love of fuck, make sure that this is not in the red, because your machine will actually start slowing down. Call of Duty will start running like dog shit. Please make sure that this is in the blue. So the reason why I am actually inside here is please go ahead and uninstall bullshit off your machine that you don't need. Now, these Microsoft things, please don't uninstall them. You're going to break your machine. Just uninstall your single player games or apps that you don't use and stuff like that. I have multiple drives, or basically M.2s. I just run M.2s. So this is why I have multiple shit on my machine, and I don't give a fuck. But for people out there, please go ahead and uninstall unnecessary bullshit off your machine. It's very, very important to go ahead and do so. Okay, now, something that I highly recommend you go ahead and do as well is this over here. You're going to come to startup and make sure that these things inside here that you do not use is turned off as well. As soon as you start up your computer, these things should not start running, because then they're going to run in the background and use resources yet again, like your RAM, your CPU, and it's going to use resources in general. Please go ahead and turn the things off that's necessary to turn off. Please just don't turn things off that you shouldn't turn off, like Windows stuff and stuff like that. Like Steam, you can turn off. Spotify, your necessary things that you know that needs to run, keep them on, and things that you know that should be off, turn them the fuck off. They also play part of background apps once you launch or start up your computer. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, and it plays the most important role in Call of Duty itself, is the config file. You're going to come to your file explorer like this and come to your documents, come to Call of Duty, go to players, and then come to this one over here. Now, a lot of people like had comments down below in my videos asking me, yo dude, I don't have no application to open this up with, to edit, whatever the case might be. All you're going to need to do is just right click on it and then say like open with, and you say notepad and say always open this application with notepad, and say okay, and then open it up like this, and then make it nice and huge like this. Now we are inside the config file itself, and here's a couple of things that we're going to need to change to make your game run smooth as possible. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, every time Call of Duty does an update, they intend to break their fucking game, and that's just a common known thing. Everyone that's subscribed to my YouTube channel knows this, and the people that's new here, I hope that you also know this. That just in general, I'm pretty sure that you know this already, but Call of Duty in general smokes crack and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Now, something that I know that I do inside the config file is change things inside here to make the game run much, much smoother and much, much better. All right, Now, you're new to this right now at this very moment. This might be a random ass number right here. It should be the most random ass number ever for your CPU that you're currently running. Okay, I'm running a 14700K and I'm running a 4070 Super, and that is what I'm running right now at this very moment. Okay, now I have 8 inside there. It's because I have 8 performance cores. Okay, now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put your total cores inside here from Ryzen, and you're going to need to put your total cores inside here from Intel. Then if you have a newer generation CPU from Intel, I highly recommend you go ahead and put your performance cores inside there. And it's very easy to do to find out what CPU you have. You just right click here on your taskbar and you go to Task Manager and you go to Performance like this, click on your CPU, and it will tell you the current CPU that you are currently running at this very moment. Now, it does not tell you your performance cores and stuff like that. It will say your cores and your threads. Okay, now all you're going to need to do is take your CPU like this, like that, and then just go to Google, type it in, and type specs next to it, and it will tell you the performance cores that it has for the newer CPU, and then go ahead and type it inside here. Mine is 8, okay, and then I put 8 inside here. I highly recommend you go ahead with newer CPUs, put the total performance cores inside there. That gives you the most performance out of this game, most FPS out of this game, not your threads. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm repeat myself, please do not put your threads inside here. Yes, I know it says thread count for handling the job queue, but like I said, Call of Duty smokes crack and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You need to put your total cores inside here. Now, if you're on a lower generation CPU from Intel, it's your total cores. There's no performance core. There's no performance cores because you're not on a newer generation CPU. You're on an older generation CPU, but that's still fine. You are not left out in the dust. Don't worry. You are still good to go. All you're going to need to do is put your total cores inside there. So let's say it's 8, let's say it's 10, let's say it's 12, let's say it's all the way to 16. Let's say it's all the way to 24. Please, for the love of fuck, do not type in 24 like this. I repeat, do not type 24 inside here. The highest value is 16. As you can see, 1 to 16. Do not extend yourself over 16 because the highest value is 16 inside here. And if you go over that value, it's not going to apply to the config file and it will just fuck with your game. So please just know this. I want you guys to actually know this, that if you have 24 total cores, put 16 inside here and you should be good to go. Now mine is 8 performance cores, so I put 8 inside here. I have something on the screen right now for most CPUs that's out there right now that people are using, and you could just go ahead and look at that and you can put it inside there and you should be good to go. All right, now this is another thing I want to explain is the video memory scale. Now as you can see, mine right now at this very moment is 0.8, meaning it's at 80% inside the game. The target VRAM scale inside the game is at 80%. Okay, now you can change this inside here, but I don't really recommend changing it inside the config file. I recommend changing it in the game itself, which is much better. It applies better because you can actually start doing the thing of restarting your shaders and stuff like that and restarting the game, and then it restarts the shaders after you change the VRAM target scale to something lower or something higher. But I wouldn't go higher than 80% with any graphics card. You can have a 4090, you can have a graphics card that can launch nuclear missiles. I don't give a fuck. Do not push it higher than 80%. 80% is the sweet spot for Call of Duty. If you push it to 90, you are going to have problems. I'm letting you guys know this so that you don't fucking do it. All right? So 80%, like I said, is the highest, but we're going to do it inside the game, not inside the config file. Now, something I just want to go over is this over here. As you can see, that's my graphics card that I'm running. Then it says here, do not modify latest detected GPU driver version, which is this version right here. And then it says here, version of last display driver used to run the game, which is 560.70. All right. Then it says recommended display driver version during last game startup. This is recommended by Call of Duty. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Call of Duty smokes a lot of fucking crack, and it's lace crack. So they completely fucked when they do updates and when they work on their config file themselves. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing themselves. And this is why I'm here, is to help you guys out as best I can with all of my knowledge that I know for this game. All right, now, the reason why that number is there, that 537.58, is to run that driver all the way up to this one, okay? So you can run that driver or anything above that all the way to the latest driver, which is this one over here for Nvidia, Okay, now for an AMD graphics card, will obviously be different because obviously in Nvidia and AMD drivers are completely different. So just please make sure that you're either on the latest graphics card driver or you on a driver that works perfectly fine for this game. Now, there's a lot of other things inside the config file that you can go ahead and change, like the blood count and stuff like that. I don't really mess around with that. The reason why I don't mess around with that is if you're starting to change stuff like blood count and smaller things in the game that doesn't really matter that much. I mean, you're going to lose like 2 FPS or maybe gain 2 FPS or whatever the case might be. I don't really go over that. The reason why I don't go over those kind of things and stuff like that is because it can make the game actually not run. It can make the game crash. Number one. And number two is you shouldn't be changing those things. You should be getting a better graphics card. That's my opinion in general, okay? Please rather get a better graphics card, okay? It's time to save up. Maybe save up if you can. Get a fucking better graphics card. Don't fucking change the blood count and stuff like that, and then your game starts crashing, and it starts, I don't know, bugging out, or the buildings don't render incorrectly and stuff like that, because you're changing things inside here that should not be changed. Yes, I know you can get more FPS out of your game by doing that, but it's a risk. And it's a risk I don't want you guys to take. I don't want you guys to get into your game and then it doesn't fucking work. First of all, you want the best settings for this game. You want good FPS. You want the game to run perfectly and just overall run smooth. Not being able to run the game in the first place is even worse than your game running like dog shit. Meaning you won't be able to play the fucking game. All right, so I just want to put that out there and point that out there to people so they can understand this. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, being on the latest graphics card driver is very, very important. So I'm just going to open up in my GeForce Experience and go over this over here. Go over to your drivers like this and make sure that you're on the latest graphics card driver like this. And you can just go to check for updates and it will let you know if you have the latest graphics card drivers on your machine right now at this very moment. Now, this applies for all users. It applies for AMD users and Nvidia users as well. Right now, at this very moment, I'm running 560.70. It is the latest graphics card driver out at this very moment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this video keeps going and people watching this video, I don't know, in the next month or two, there will be a new graphics card driver that is going to be released. Okay, so just bear in mind that every time you do a graphics card driver update, it might change your settings in your game, and it can also change your Nvidia control panel settings as well. Every time you do an update and you install your graphics card drivers and you do an express installation and your screens go black and then your screens come back to normal and you say cancel and you go out of this thing over here and you go out of this. If you want to save the settings that you just changed inside, you just click on file, click on save, and then close out of this like this, and close out of this, and close out of this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once you update your graphics card driver, and you launch your game, sometimes the game settings will be completely different, back to default settings, or it will be to the highest it can go to, or it will be to the lowest it can go to. It's just very fucked up and weird because Call of Duty is a complete fuck up in general. And then also on top of it, your Nvidia control panel settings will be changed every time you do an update. Sometimes it doesn't update or change anything in your Nvidia control panel settings, but sometimes it does. So make sure you do go ahead and go look inside your Nvidia control panel settings if anything has changed inside there. All right, let's jump straight into the next step, which is Nvidia control panel settings. All right, so the Nvidia control panel settings plays a very big role inside all your games, not just Call of Duty. So you're just going to right click on your desktop and go to Nvidia control panel and open up the Nvidia control panel like this. You're going to come to adjust image settings and it's going to look like this, and you're going to be on this one over here that says use the advanced 3D image settings and click on take me there. It's basically just going to take you to manage 3D settings and you're going to be inside here. Now, I do normally with all my videos, I mean, if you're a subscriber of mine, you'll know that I go over everything inside here and explain them in detail. If you don't want to know the whole detail and you just want to get to the point, then all you can do is copy my settings as is inside here and you should be good to go. But I'm going to go over a few things inside here that plays a very big role depending on the machine that you are currently running. So open GL Render GPU. Please go ahead and select this. Do not say auto select. Select your dedicated graphics card that you're currently running and then go to power management mode. Select this and say prefer maximum performance. All right. The shader cache is at driver default. It's not at 100 gigs anymore. That doesn't work anymore. It's not a thing anymore for Call of Duty. They have completely removed it. Okay, now this one over here where it says test defaulting quality, this is how much quality you're pushing out for all your games. Now, If you are running a very low-end gaming graphics card, I highly recommend you go with high performance. If you're running a mid-tier graphics card, go with performance over here. And then if you're running something like a high-end graphics card, go ahead and put it at quality. I'm running a 4070 Super. It's still basically classed as a high-end graphics card. Not really anymore since the 5000 series is coming out and all that bullshit. But I put mine at quality. It can run it perfectly fine like this. You'll know what to put this on depending on the graphics card that you are currently running. Right. The threaded optimization, please go ahead and turn that on. It plays a very, very big role on your games itself when you're playing games. This is to do with all your games, not just Call of Duty. Now, something plays a very big role as well is the low latency mode. A lot of people has asked me, yo dude, I only have on, or I have on and ultra. Which one should I put this on? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a really good paired up computer, like they run very well together, so your CPU and your GPU runs very well together, there's a very little bit of a bottlenecking, not a lot of bottlenecking. Bottlenecking meaning you have a lower CPU and you have a high-end GPU, or you have a high-end CPU and a low-end GPU, then I would highly recommend putting this at ultra. But if you have a paired up computer that's very well paired up, like me, I have 14700K with a 4070 Super, then go ahead and put this at on. But for people out there that is, you know, that your graphics card's a little bit better, higher end than your CPU, or your CPU is higher end than your GPU, then go ahead and put this at ultra and you should be good to go. The rest of the settings are just 3D settings. You aren't playing a 3D fucking game, so don't worry about that. That should be all good. And you're just going to say apply here. Mine's already applied, so go ahead and apply that from here. From here, you're going to go to config, surround, and physics, and make sure you have your dedicated graphics card selected inside here. Now, the only reason why you would select CPU inside here is if you have an APU unit. Yes, there are people actually that have APU units, meaning they have no dedicated graphics card that's plugged into their PCIe slot. They have a CPU with a dedicated graphics card built into the CPU itself. This is the only reason why you would select CPU. Please, for the love of fuck, do not select auto select. So your dedicated graphics card would be 95% of the gaming community uses dedicated graphics cards. So select your dedicated graphics card and say apply. From here, you're going to come to adjust desktop color settings and come inside here. Now I have multiple screens, and this is my main screen I play my games on. Okay, now brightness, 50%. Do not change this. Please do not change this, because this is going to change it for every game that you're playing, and it's going to change everything for your screen that you're currently on. Okay, for everything, not just gaming, for everything that you do, watching YouTube videos, whatever you do, whatever you do on your screen, this is going to apply to it. Okay, brightness 50%, good to go. Contrast 65% is a sweet spot, always been a sweet spot, and it will probably always be a sweet spot on the contrast for your main screen. 65 over here. Your gamma, its default settings, which is 1.00. Then your digital vibrance plays a very big role inside your Windows itself and inside your games. Now, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still using the old Nvidia control panel. The reason why I'm still using it because I prefer this one over the newer one. The reason why I do that is because I just like this one more. I'm so used to this one. It's very similar. You can do more color filtering and stuff like that with the newer version, but I don't really like it because it's quite buggy. I have tried it before. There is a little bit of bugs happening and stuff, and I don't really want to go through that. That's why I reverted back to the original version, which is the normal Nvidia control panel settings. All right. So I have mine at 95%, and the digital vibrance is fucking amazing in the game. Everything pops, the grass pops, like your enemies pop, everything just looks beautiful in the game at 95%. Now, your default settings would be 50% like this, like that. That's your default settings when Windows gets installed onto your machine or whatever the case might be. That's its default settings. Please push this up. Go ahead and go from 50% to like either 65 like that, or you can go to 75 like this. Everyone has their own sweet spot. Just don't put this at 95, ladies and gentlemen, if you have bad eyesight. This can actually give you headaches by constantly having your digital vibrance too bright on your screen, and you're constantly on your computer. But if you're not constantly on your computer and you work a lot and you just come home and play games for a couple of hours or whatever the case might be, 95 is fucking amazing, and it's one of the best spots you can put your digital vibrance. Trust me on this. It makes the game look absolutely fucking fantastic. You could just say apply to this. Your screen might flash a couple of times. Don't worry about it. It's just applying all the settings you just changed inside the Nvidia control panel settings. All right, let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can use right now at this very moment for Season 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm in the game right now, and welcome to Season 5. I'm in the display tab right now. Then I'm going to go over the quality tab, view tab, and everything you need to change to have a smooth gameplay experience with Season 5 right now at this very moment. Now, I'm running my game at full screen borderless. The reason why I'm doing that is because I have multiple screens. Now, yes, I can get away with full screen exclusive with multiple screens as well, but I do prefer this overall because I have multiple screens and I just go over my screens overall while I'm playing my game. That's why I'm using this. If you have multiple screens, please go ahead and use this option. It's your own personal preference yet again, but if you have one screen, one display, like a laptop display or one monitor, go ahead and use full screen exclusive. It is the best result you're going to get with one display. Okay, I use full screen borderless because I have multiple screens. Now, something I just want to mention is this over here. As you can see over here, it says other apps. Now, the reason mine is on 0.88 is because my Discord is currently closed. I'm only using OBS to record this video, and then I do have a couple of things open, like my MSI Center, which is running through my motherboard to control my CPU's gigahertz and my RGB stuff and everything to do with my computer. I use MSI Center, and then I also use MSI Afterburner, which is that over there that you can see over here at the top. All right, that's basically what I use, and that's what's open right now at this very moment. Now, if you do use Discord, I just want to let you know that that will climb up a slight bit. If you use Discord, I just want to mention this to you guys. If you do use Discord on your computer while playing this game, that's what normal people do. A lot of people do that. I do that all the time. I don't play without Discord. This will climb up by a slight bit because Discord also uses background apps, so other apps. Now, as you can see, I have closed everything down except, like I said, my OBS and the programs that I normally run every single day, and it's at 0.88. Yours should not be in the 1 gigs, because if it is in the 1 gigs or higher, it means you have background apps running in on your computer in general that is slowing down your computer. It is also just using VRAM for no fucking reason, and it's going to make you have a bad gameplay experience. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, so the next step is the aspect ratio. A lot of people do prefer having the game at 16:9. It's how I know most gamers to use their screens is at 16:9. But if you don't know what type of screen you have or whatever the case might be, go to automatic. Call of Duty will automatically pick up what screen you are running, and you can just select automatic over here. Now, the restart shader preloading, we're going to come back to this. It's a very important step to do, but we're going to come back to this just now when I'm done with this entire video. Then we're going to come back to this. All right. Display gamma, I have mine at 2.4. The reason why I have mine at 2.4 is because I'm currently playing on a TV, and that is why I have mine at 2.4. Yours should be at 2.2 if you're running a monitor, a gaming monitor. Sometimes gaming monitors, really expensive gaming monitors, get away with 2.4. I'm not going to lie, you can get away with having this at 2.4. It actually gives the game a little bit more vibrance in the game, and it makes it look much better. All right, so you can go with 2.4 here, and it makes it just better overall on a expensive gaming monitor. It really just makes it so much better. But if you have a normal monitor, go ahead with 2.2 or a display like your laptop display, and you should be good to go at 2.2. Leave it over there. Right, brightness, please go ahead and change this from its defaults, which is 50%, to at least 55 or 60. Do not push it over that because you're going to make your game look washed out. Don't do that. All right, constant mouse to game window, turn this the fuck off. Okay, Nvidia Reflex low latency is a very important step to take inside this game. Now it literally tells you what to do on the right hand side here. You can literally just use your fucking eyeballs that's currently in the sockets of your skull and then put them right here and read what the fuck it says. All right, plain and simple tells you why you should put what on. Okay, so if you are CPU bound cases, on plus boost is the best, and then if you're GPU bound cases, it will be on. Okay, now mine automatically put mine on. I didn't do anything here. I didn't put mine on myself. It just automatically did it. Now, I would highly recommend if yours automatically does it after the update and it changes it to whatever it does. So let's say it changes it to on or changes it to on plus boost. Just leave it. Just leave it. Don't touch it because that's what it prefers. Okay, for your specific machine that you're running. Just leave it as is. All right, you're going to come down to where it says eco mode preset. You're going to have this a custom, then you're going to have your VSync gameplay. Now, this is obviously if you want to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your screen, so your hertz of your screen, you can cap it by putting this at 100%, or if you're getting screen tearing like that, then please go ahead and put it at 100%. Do not put it off. All right, then you can cap your FPS in the menus. If you want to go ahead and do so, you can put it 100% and it will cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor in the menus. I've never seen screen tearing in the menus. That has never been a thing for me. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, custom frame rate limit, I leave mine on unlimited. It's my own personal preference. Everyone has their own personal preference, but you can go ahead and go to custom and come inside here and change it to whatever the hell you want it to be. So let's just say that your graphics card only reaches 120 FPS while playing the game. Let's just say that, right? Then I would recommend putting this at 120 like this, and then having this at like 60 like that, and then out of focus just completely put it at 30 like that. This is how you should go. So the refresh rate of your screen or the FPS that you're reaching with your graphics card, put it there. Now I reach a fuck ton of FPS while I'm playing my game, like more than this, right? Not in the menus, but more than this while I'm playing my game. So I don't need to have this. I don't want to have this. I leave this at unlimited, and that's how I leave my game. My graphics card is not going to jump out of my case and run away because I'm using unlimited frames. Your graphics card won't die. A lot of people have this thing embedded into their minds, and they're putting it out there into the world that if you put your game on unlimited frames, it's going to just juice out all your graphics card's power and its memory and everything, and you're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. It will not die. Ladies and gentlemen, your graphics card will not fucking die. I know people that it has this unlimited and they're running the worst graphics cards ever, and they're still running those graphics cards. So please, for the love of fuck, it's your own personal preference when it comes to this option over here. Literally your own personal preference. But for me personally, unlimited FPS all the time. Menu render resolution, have this at native, so it does your native resolution. This over here where it says pause game rendering, have this off. And then focus mode is just if you want to turn your other screens off, you can apply this, then all your other screens will go black. And if you turn it to 0, your screens will just come back on. So if you're lazy, you can go ahead and turn this to 100%, then your screens turn off by themselves. They go black. They're not off, but they're completely black. Please don't put that at 100% and forget about it and be like, oh shit, my screens are broken, because that has happened in my comments down below. But yeah, this literally tells you on the right hand side what this fucking does. So just open your eyeballs. Literally just fucking use your eyes. Like, don't just listen to my voice. Use your eyes as I'm doing this. I mean, like, for fuck, I don't want to sound like Gordon Ramsay. Like, I really don't when it comes to fucking gaming settings. But for the love of fuck, open your eyes and read what these things do. Okay? That's all you need to fucking do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the quality tab. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and obviously you get your reset to recommended, minimum, basic, balance, ultra, and extreme. Now, I've tried all of these things. It's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you. Customize your settings to your preferred settings, to your preferred machine. Now, depending on the machine that you're running, it's going to depend on what you're going to change inside the settings inside this game. Do not select these. I know people select these and they get away with it. If you're one of those people, I'm happy for you. Like, honestly, I'm so fucking happy for you. Like, really, I'm happy. But if you want competitive settings and you want the best FPS, you're going to customize these things. And if you've never done this before, if you never customized shit in the settings inside here, you won't have a custom option. Now, to make a custom option is to basically go to the upscaling inside here. Now, Intel upscaling, very, very good. Runs very, very well. If you want to use the Intel upscaling, go ahead and select it and then have this at balance. I highly recommend having it balance. It's a sweet spot for this upscaling over here. Please, for the love of fuck, ladies and gentlemen, this option over here, turn it off right now. When you see this option, turn it off. Turn it the fuck off. It just fucks with the game. This option shouldn't even be in the fucking game. Turn it the fuck off. I don't care what graphics card you are running. Like I said, you can run a graphics card that can launch nukes. Turn it the fuck off. Thank you, and done. Right, from here, we're going to go to Nvidia DLSS. If you are using Nvidia DLSS and you're a Nvidia DLSS user, please go ahead and have this either at quality or have it at balance. You can have it at performance if you're running a lower end graphics card. You can have it at performance, but do not, I repeat, do not put it at ultra performance. Your game's just going to look like dog shit. You're going to tear out your own eyes and throw your PC out your window. Please don't do that. Have it at quality or at balance, and then have this at your own personal preference. I have mine at 50% if I use Nvidia DLSS. I just want to point that out there. And then another thing is 80% for everything I'm about to go over, and I'll tell you when to drop this. Okay, so 80% there, 80% here. Skip this fucking option. The Nvidia DLAA is just a bunch of bullshit. The game looks like dog shit. It just runs like dog shit. Don't use this option. It's fucking dog shit. Nvidia image scaling. I know a lot of people use this as well. If you do use this either at native, ultra quality, or at quality. Do not go balance. Do not go performance. These two should never be selected. Quality, ultra quality, or your native resolution. Then you should be good to go. and have this sharpness at your own personal preference. Mine, yet again, is 30. Everyone has their own personal preference. Okay, yet again, 80% over here. Now, when we come to AMD FSR 1.0, a lot of people do use this option. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you are using this option, go ahead and go to quality, have this off, and have this at 60% like that, and press enter. Have this like this, and you should be good to go. Now, you're still going to have this at 60% like this if you are using AMD FSR 3.0. You can have 60% if you have a lower generation graphics card. If you have a higher generation graphics card and you want to use AMD FSR 3.0 and you want to have it at native with frame generation on, which is AI created frames. Yes, I know a lot of people hate it. I know this topic. Don't, let's not get into this, right? If you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, turn it the fuck off, okay? And use your native resolution. Go ahead and do that, okay? Then you're going to push this up to 80% if you have a good enough GPU. If you have a lower generation graphics card, go with 60%. Don't go lower than 60. Don't go higher than 80. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the interruption. My OBS literally stopped recording, and I was talking, and it literally just was a black screen, so you wouldn't have seen anything. So I had to re-record this and redo this with my voice and literally go back into the game, go over the same settings, so you'll hear that the tick 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 going over the options and stuff like that is like not exactly the same as where my mouse is, basically as where my voice is. I tried mimicking it as much as I can. I got super upset that my OBS fucked out and it literally went to a black screen. I got so upset that I literally kicked my cupboard door fucked up. And I'm not kidding. Here's the proof. But I kept going. Because I'm not letting anything fucking stop me. I literally am here to help you guys as best I can. So, ladies and gentlemen, please. I'm not... I really don't want to ask, but... for the love of fuck, hit that thanks button down below so I can actually replace my cupboard fucking door. Like, I would really appreciate it. I got really fucking upset and I just stripped my fucking shit and kicked my cupboard door fucked up. I'm not kidding. Yeah, this is basically the results of it. Me throwing it in a bin. But yeah, anyways, let's get on with it. Okay, that is how this will be. All right, so I'm just going to put this at 80% and leave it at 80%. Now, the rest of this is Fidelity FX Cache. Fidelity FX Cache runs fucking amazing, and I love Fidelity FX Cache. Next one will be Fidelity FX Cache. The reason why I like Fidelity FX Cache and why I'm currently using it at this very, very moment of Season 5, I click on Fidelity FX Cache and I go to 50% over here, and I push this all the way to 4K with my current rig. Now, then I have this at 50% on the strength, but the strength is your own personal preference when it comes to this game. This is how I run my game at Season 5. Right now, this very moment. This is my personal preference, okay? This is how I run my game, okay? And the game looks like a AAA title fucking game. Everything is crystal clear. It's sharp. I can see my enemies easy. It's just beautiful on Fidelity FX Cache. Fidelity FX Cache is one of the top rated selected options in the upscaling / sharpening in this game. In general, when it comes to Warzone and Modern Warfare 3. Right, now we're going to go over the rest of the stuff. Something I just want to point out is this, and it plays a very big role in the game, is this. Turn this the fuck off, turn this the fuck off, or you can turn it on if you have an Nvidia card. Yet again, it's personal preferences, all right. Now, if you have a high-end graphics card, high. If you have a medium-end graphics card, you go to normal over here and have that at least at high. You should be fine like this. You can also go to normal as well. If you have a medium-end graphics card, go to normal, and you should be good to go, right? If you have a very low-end graphics card, you can go to low. Just do not, I repeat, do not go to very low. You're going to scratch your own fucking eyes out, or you're going to pick up a cat, let it scratch your eyes out for you, and then fuck your PC out the window, right? Do not put this at very low. Your game's going to look like dog shit. There's not a lot of visual difference between low, if you're on a low-end machine, than normal. So, go with low if you're on a low-end graphics card, okay? Please go ahead and do that. And that applies to... these two apply to what you change it inside here. So please go ahead and be careful with what you do here, okay? Be very careful with what you do here. Me, high, and then high. That's how I run mine. Depth of field, who in the love of fuck runs depth of field? I don't know who runs this. If you do, yet again, own personal preference. My own personal preference, I don't run this and I'll never fucking run it, right? Detail quality level, low. I'm running a 4070 Super, ladies and gentlemen, and I have these things off. The reason why I have it off is because I want a competitive advantage and competitive FPS, alright? So my game runs smooth, my game runs really well, there's no stutter, there's no nothing happening in my game, it just runs like butter smooth. You're going to change it to these settings over here. Low, very low on the particle resolution, bullet impacts on so you can actually see if someone was in a building. You do not want to go into a building, then it looks like that, because this is off, right? It looks like that. You go into that building, but there's someone already in there and they had a gunfight, and you go in there and you think no one's been in there, and you die. It's because you have this fucking option off. Leave it on. It has no impact on your GPU or your CPU that much. Not at all. Turn it on. You'll lose like 1 frame. Literally. So for the love of fuck, turn it on. This over here, you do not need to see the effects. I put it on, but I really don't need to see the effects either. So I'm going to turn it the fuck off. Alright, this one over here, shader quality, do not put this at high. Now, because I restarted and reinstalled my graphics card drivers, it changed a lot of shit in my game, which I don't want it to be. Now, shader quality should not be at high. Put it at low and leave it at low for the love of fuck. You do not need to see that. Because this is the difference between the two, right? So there is water over here and there's a reflection of the crane happening in the water with this thing on. So basically it is just an FPS hugger. Now I've tested this myself. Now seeing the water there and seeing the crane reflect in the water, now there's no water here. You can't see the crane reflect here. So if someone's standing on a roof here and they right on the edge and they're looking down at you, there will still be a shadow of that person up there looking at you on low. I've tested this myself just to make sure that at low is an option to use and not to misabuse it, basically, by putting it at low for no fucking reason, and then you die all the time from people being above you or whatever the case might be. You can leave this at low, you'll be good to go. I can promise you this. On-demand texture streaming, leave it the fuck off. Don't touch this. Just leave it the fuck off. Normal over here. Local texture streaming quality, normal over here. Right. The shadow and lighting plays a very big role in this game, and it plays the most important role, and the environment as well. It plays the most important roles on FPS hogging. Right. So it just eats up your FPS. It's like num 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 num. It just fucking eats it up, right? For no reason. Okay, so shadow and lighting, shadow quality, very low. Screen space reflection, off, off, always off, leave it the fuck off and done. Ambient occlusion, off. Do not put it at both. Please, you are not playing single player, turn it the fuck off. You're playing a multiplayer game, turn it the fuck off. Screen space reflections, off. Static reflection quality, low. You're going to come down to where it says the environment. You're going to turn this to off. So tessellation, off. You're not going to say near, you're not going to say all, you're going to say fucking off. Volumetric quality, low. Your physics quality, turn it the fuck off. Weather grid volumes, turn it the fuck off. You do not need to see the fucking weather in the game. Quality, there's no difference between off, water caustics, wave wetness, and all. Turn it off, turn it off, turn it the fuck off, and fucking done. You're going to apply these settings, you're going to say confirm. Once you're done with this, you're going to come into the view tab, and you can copy my settings as is. Now, something that's very important is this one over here, having this at 0.00. You want no film grain happening in your game. Please do not have any film grain happening in your fucking game because it's annoying and it looks like shit. So turn it to 0.00. You're going to turn your world motion blur off because obviously, you do not want to throw up on your keyboard while playing the fucking game. And then your weapon motion blur as well. Do not throw up on your keyboard. If you don't want to throw up on your keyboard, then turn these two things off, all right? And you should be fucking good to go. I know a lot of people's going to comment and be like, what? It's my own personal preference, ladies and gentlemen. Yet again, everyone has their own personal preference. Inverted flash, take advantage of this instead of being whitely flashed like that and your whole room goes white, looks like an actual flashbang landed next to your gaming chair. Turn this to on and it will go black, alright? So then it literally looks like this. Every time when I tell people, use this, it is such a good fucking option. Then just fucking use it. But yet again, like I said, I can't force you to use it. It's your own personal preference, right? Once you're done applying all of these settings, you're going to say apply, and I'm going to show you this over here, which is the color customization. So you're going to come to your interface over here, and you're going to come to color customization and come inside here. You're going to have you're going to have your team, and you're going to have your party and team at the same color. So if you random queue or solo queue, then your team is at least the same color. Now, enemy, I have mine at a custom color, and that's my custom code, right? So I can pull it and it will give a new custom code, as you can see, but I have my custom code and I say apply custom color, and I have mine as magenta pink. You can go ahead and change this to whatever color you would like to prefer for your specific gameplay. All right, you're going to scroll down to where you see it says color filter. Color filter right now at this very moment for season 5, filter 2 is still the best. Filter 3 will actually make that pink go purple. So just like that, and you'll see it will go purple. Filter 3 looks like dog shit, but yet again, it's your own personal preference. I can't force you to use Filter 2, but yet again, Filter 2 for my own personal preference is the better experience. Go at Filter 2, both over here, not world, not interface, both over here, 100%, 100%, and you should be good to go. Now, the most important thing that you're going to need to do is this right here. Please take note, you need to do this for all of these settings to apply to your machine. At this very moment, whatever you changed, you need to click on this right here. You're going to come to your displays. You're going to come to your display settings like this, and you're going to come to restart shader preloading. You're going to select it and say restart. Now, you're just going to press escape, 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 escape the whole time until it says quit to desktop. You're going to say yes. Once you say yes and you launch your game through Battle.net or Steam, wherever you're playing your game through, then your shaders is going to start installing here at the top left, and it's going to be on 0% for quite a little bit of time. Make sure that you click, just click like this. Just click, you know, on anywhere on your screen. Once the game opened and it says 0%, just click anywhere on your screen, just a little click, and then leave it. So your game registers that you're actually in the game, and it's not in windowed mode or whatever the case might be. Make sure that you're in the game, and then the shaders will slowly start installing. And once it's completed, and you click on like settings or you click on anything, it's going to say you're in a square block here, 100% complete, and you are good to go for season 5. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here, hit that thanks button down below if this actually helped you a lot and you would like to support my YouTube channel. There's a thanks button down below in this video. Go ahead and click on it or become a member on my YouTube channel. It would really mean a lot to me. It honestly does. Everyone out there, you guys mean a lot to me, and this is why I make these videos on a daily. I mean, I just want you guys to have the best experience possible, and this is why I'm here. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, hope this helped you, and peace out.